huge welcome to the Sovereign Free Life podcast. And I'm so honored to have Victor and Maria here. And this is not just anybody for me. You are so close to my heart, both of you. Victor is actually my husband's brother and his beautiful girlfriend, to-be wife, I think. Very soon, I hope. And honestly, Victor was the first one to also join in this big adventure that we've been on now for 5 years with creating more sovereignty, freedom. Victor, you've been passionate about that since I met you from the start, like asking all the questions, like really diving deep into those questions. And you started out as also working in the transport industry, just like Christopher, and then just wanting out, like just wanting to live a free life. And you really taken those steps. And I so honor you for that. And then Maria, you met on the way, right? Yeah, in this whole movement, she was sitting on the Zoom call there, and the rest is history, so to say. And new parents as well to a beautiful baby. You're living down in France, and Maria, you were stuck in a job where you were so stressed out as a preschool teacher, and now you both traveled the world, and you've come back to yourselves and back to your health, back to living a balanced life together down south, and found a beautiful home there with your family. So oh, so happy to have you here and so happy for you to share. And would love to start with just, you telling your story and how it all began and what pulled you into doing this and taking the steps forward, and what have you met on the way? What are the learnings so far? So yeah, all your
It is an honor to be here, Monica. I'm so looking forward to share. And yeah, it's been a journey, and I think I will leave it to you to start, and then I can fill in. Otherwise, I can take over the whole conversation.
No, like you said, it's been an adventure, like 5 years adventure, because really where it started out from where we are today, it's really so wild because you don't know when you really step into something that, I mean, for some, like,
it's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, it's really just saying yes to something to yourself and where you really want to go in life, and not from the space of like, oh, this is good for me because this is what society expects from me, my family expects from me. More like what really lights my soul. And I think that is the life we live today is the consequences of following that joy, that inspiration, and constantly taking action from there, which sometimes is just like jumping and building a parachute on the way. But that comes with so much
learning, growth, experience.
Yeah. And just like wild stories that you can tell, and it's like we did that. It's been so amazing. And as you said, we started out basically like really I was a postman, like, or in the traditional courier transportation job, and you were a preschool teacher.
Yes.
And so it was really like postman, preschool teacher, like really normal jobs in society. And like I had my apartment in the city, like doing what you should do, what society expects from you. I was like doing the normal trajectory in life, and I would probably keep on doing that and working all those hours. And I mean, I started my company basically and as a career driver because I actually wanted more. I had more drive and ambition to have more freedom. And I think when you, like, from that point, I still had a yearning to have more, but I was just starting out on my journey. But by being in a job 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 in Sweden, for me, like almost like
it was not 8 to 5 for you. It was 7 to 10. Like
it was
crazy hours. Gosh.
Yeah, it was a lot more hours. But in my opinion, when I talk to people, almost all jobs today really make people burn out, and it's not really made to produce happy, healthy, inspired people. It's like how to say, grinding people down, really, physically, mentally, spiritually. So until something happens, and I think now more people are like depressed and and burnout than ever before, because we are. It's like what society wants from us. But I think from me being exposed to the opportunity to work with this that you showed me, Monica, was like the ticket, really, that really was something that where I really felt that, wow, this really lights my soul, and I can feel that joy and expansion from where I was in a very, I mean, it took so much time and energy, and I'm really an optimistic, energetic guy, but I was really just quite like dull and just tired and worn out. But then being shown something that you really like, wow, I think it's easy to follow that, at least for me. But for some people, I think you can be a bit scared. I don't know, for some people I met. But for me, it was just like, okay, this is it. Like, it's time to like say yes to this. And yeah, like now in hindsight, looking back, I mean, I'm so grateful for saying yes to me and for the things that I really wanted, not asking for permission for someone else. Like, I want this, I deserve this. And therefore, 5 years later, I mean, we have traveled so much. We have so many fantastic stories. It feels like we have lived so many
lives in lives.
Yeah.
In a life, yeah.
Yeah.
Lifetimes in a life, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And now living where we hope that we would be so many years after we started out. We said that we wanted to live in the Mediterranean and all that. And because we said yes to starting to work online, starting to learn how to learn skill sets that could really give us the opportunity to work from anywhere in the world, provide an income higher than we were used to, really enabled us to create the life to move down south, now live where we really wanted to live back in the day, and have a really 180 kind of life than what we had before. So I think I can just like leave it there, and you can just like take on from there. There's a lot of more things to it, obviously, but I think that's the like overall view for me. Is just I said yes to something that really lit my soul and heart on fire, and because of it, also putting down very much also dedicated work for the dream, for what I really wanted. I get to harvest that fruit, obviously. So I think whatever you do, you need to put in work. But it depends on what are you working for, and are you choosing the right vehicle? Are you choosing the right business model, the right company, and all of that can support you? Like, if you dedicate 5 years, what will be the outcome of that? Than if you give all that time to a normal job. So I think that's my
Imagine
life.
if you would still sit in that car, like in the transport car now.
And maybe have some more like more units, and maybe earn some more money, but I will still be stuck
Completely
in
stuck.
the
No time.
Yeah, in the rat
yes,
race, no
exactly.
time, and I would be really the key in the whole
In your own system.
the machinery, and I
But
have
in a
to
way,
be
it's like choosing where you put your life energy, like your life force energy in a way, right? Do you do it for someone else, or do you do it for yourself? It's been like in the conversations I've had in this podcast, it's become so clear, you decide over your own life force, over your own time, like be very careful for like where you put that. And it's actually your choice. It's not your parents' choice, your society's choice. It's like, it is your choice. And you really made that choice, and you both did. It's so amazing. Yeah.
That's what For me, that was like the time. I wanted my time back because I was stuck in my 9 to 5 or in my preschool work. And I know, or I know, yeah, I know I will work with children in the future because they are very dear to my heart, but not in that kind of environment and not under those kind of, what is that? Like circumstances.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I walked like you did, the track of being a really good girl and a really good citizen. So I did everything that was mapped out for me, and I didn't even look at the side to see if there is anything else because I didn't even know there were anything else. But my soul has always wanted to do so much more and contribute to the world in so many different ways, and I always been very much in for impacting people. So when I started as a preschool teacher, I thought like, yes, I found my mission because I love to be in the preschool, and I was on a very like conscious preschool as well. We were very well aware of how we wanted to teach our children, and it was super evolving for me to be there. But after being there for 4 years, I hit the wall for the first time in my life, and I was 20 something, 25 I think, 26, something like that, and I lost a lot of my hair. Now it had grown out again, but it's I lost a lot of it, and I also gained a lot of weight, like 22 more kilos than I am sitting like here today. And I had like I sat like this all the time. I was walking around like this, and I belittling myself in so many ways, being stuck in that environment. So it actually you can see that, and I think it's sad, but when I look around sometimes at people, most of the people are walking around like this, and I think it's because we start to believe that we can't have more, and then we start to think a lot of destructive thoughts, so that we actually like kind of pity ourselves and also like shrink ourselves. And that's why people end up like this, and not only because we're sitting like this. That's the common saying that, oh, we sit in front of our computers and that's why we're like this. But I think it's because people don't understand how powerful they actually are. It's sad because I don't think that people understand how big they are and how powerful they are when they are, in their shining bright light, when they are in their essence of who they are and who they can be and what they can achieve and what they can have. So people think that they can't have things and they can't achieve things and they can't, because they have been told their whole life that they are supposed to live in a freaking box that kept them so safe in a way where they are not actually very safe, and where they are only stuck. And it's yeah, that, I can talk about that for a long time, but that was how I felt stuck without even knowing it. And I didn't even know that my health was bad. I was in bad shape, 25 plus, and I was in bad shape. I had mind fog, I was losing hair, I had gained weight, I didn't eat properly, because when I came home, every time I come home, I just sat on my sofa to recharge, to actually move into the kitchen, cook some food, and then go out to Netflix, sit there for one more hour or two, sleep in front of the sofa, then pull myself up into the bed, and we start over again. Like that was how I operated. And also because I'm super ambitious and passionate, and I think that goes for many of us that want to make impact. We are so passionate, we are so ambitious, so we do everything that we can. And if we are on a work, like a job, the job becomes like the most important thing in the world, because we want to do so much different. But the thing is, on a work, you are, if you pull yourself, what is that? Not pull yourself together, but if you, as me, you work so hard so that you actually break yourself in a way, you can't do that much impact either in your own life or in other people's life. And it's not supposed to be like that. I don't believe that. So I am, yeah, I searched for something else, and I had a good friend of mine who actually said that he found something, and it was this. And I was very curious, but also very, as you said, afraid. I was actually afraid because I had some cognitive dissonance. Because when I looked at it, I was like, even if my soul said like, this is it, do it, like this is the thing, I was singing like that from the inside and out. But it took me 3 months to actually step into this business and start this business, because I had so many programs that said to me like, it's a scam, it can never happen to you, you're gonna be trapped into this thing, and every like all's gonna break, like it's gonna break for you. It's not gonna happen. Nothing of what you are dreaming of, it's coming to fruition here. It's just what they're saying to you. So I was like living in that scarcity, but I was always close to my friend, and I was always in this open in the beginning of 5 years back in time, you had these open calls. So I was always on these calls, and I remember how patient you were, Monica. You were like, yes, so when will you invest in your own business, Maria? Like asking that question. I was like, yeah, I will do it. I'm looking into it now. And my dear friend Simon, he asked like, yeah, so have you talked with the bank? Are you going to invest? And I'm like, if I'm doing something, I'm doing it like fully. I can't do it half or a little. So I was like, if I'm doing it with a trifecta, as we call it. So I was like, I'm doing it. And one day I just did it. I just did it. And I decided, if I do this now, I'm not going to tell like everyone that, oh, I'm doing this, and I'm not going to jinx anything, and I'm absolutely not going to tell my father. So yeah, so that was the start for me when I actually just moved in. And why I didn't told my father was because all the programming thoughts, I love him to the bits, but they come from a very strong belief that society is the only right way to go, and I was in that, and I didn't want to be more in it. So I knew that if I'm not letting my mind get into all the opinions that would be around me, if I told people that now I'm doing something that's going to break the norm, it's I'm gonna make it so much easier for myself. So that was what I did, and I said yes to myself. And as soon as I did that, he came into my world, and we like, yeah. Since then, everything that we have said has actually come into like the vision, or from the beginning it was just dreams, and then it became visions, and from visions it became action steps, and from these action steps, I can tell you there hasn't been an easy road, because it has been like bumpy and ups and downs and highs and lows and all of that. But from that journey, like I am so rich in life, like on life, and every experience that I have had, like all the ups and downs have given me so much more. Our child, can you just get her and the charger? Yes, thank you. So it has brought me so much wisdom and so much appreciation for life, and to gain my time back. That's the biggest part for me, because time is life, and my life is mine to own. And I really believe that we are all here on this beautiful earth to live in alignment with our soul and heart, and what we want to fill our days with is not someone else's choice. It's our choice. It's my choice. And for me, it will look like in one way, and for you, it will look in another way, and for other thousands of people, they will look in different ways. And that's the beauty of it. And I think when we are operating from there, and from a full cup of having our time, having our energy, having our the visions activated, as I feel they are in this community, and we see it so beautifully all the time. And that is one of the things that have made me kept going, because as long as I can see that other people are making their progress in their way of turning their dreams into visions, into action steps, and start to live their best life, that's the go-to I always have. Like, if they can, I can, and if I can, you can. And that's how I always like to think of it, because it's that's the biggest, I think that's the biggest takeaway. If I would have a one, it's like, if other can do it, I can do it, because we're not that's very, like, yeah, we are different people, but we're the same. We are just human beings here on earth to explore and to live. So yeah, I'm think I'm done there, like. I just love this journey.
Oh,
Yeah.
But and a question about that, because I think you're really touching on something that is so important. It's let me see. Yeah, you're touching on something, because the mindset and the belief, I mean, when you come into this, there's so much support around that. But I think, like you said, it's a lot of people out there that they listen to somebody in their surroundings that tell them, oh, this is a scam. No, you're not gonna make it. Like you listen to those people around you that actually don't really know what they are talking about. And I see that happen, even though, like you said, there's so many examples, like people from all walks of life, like all kind of backgrounds that are actually making this happen and living a full life, like living a rich life in not just money, but in time, in freedom, in relationships, like all of that. So would you like to just address that? Like both of you were brave to take the leap, but what can you say to those that are like they're listening to those doubts, they're like listening to those things still?
Yeah, I think, like I said, like I have seen like facts on a paper, like really, I have the receipt of following the guidance of my heart and soul and like my inner yearnings, what I've really wanted to experience in life beyond the normal having an apartment, a house in Sweden, and a job. Like, because for me that was not it. If that's it for you, then sure, then job and everything. That's a route that works. I mean, it works. And if you want, she's gonna feed the baby.
Yeah, she's very unhappy with how I'm sitting like this.
Yeah.
Don't worry, like
No, it's fine.
we've all grown our businesses. But what is it called? With like babies on the boobs.
With a baby on the boob.
Yeah. I did that too.
Yeah, you have.
No, but I think, but if you want more than a 9 to 5 kind of lifestyle, then you need to, like the saying, if you want a different result, you need to do something else.
Yeah.
Like you can't do the same thing and expect a different result.
No.
So I think for me, after going with the same kind of way of life from school up to work and all that up to 25, and then deciding to like, wow, really follow that feeling, seeing that I met my partner, had my family, I've traveled to amazing places, have met amazing people also on the same journey. That's the thing. You meet these people that are so brave, have created amazing lives for themselves, giving you like, oh, really amazing advice and support, just like freely, because they're also on that level where they're just like, hey, life's amazing if you really take the opportunity, and they are really the manifestation of that. So you meet these people on different levels where they are like maybe a little bit before you or a long way, but you can have so valuable conversations. So I think just like, yeah, as I said, you really have to be honest with yourself. Like, do I want something different than what I see around like the norm? If that's a yes, well, you should start listening to the people that have the results that you are wanting and yearning for, and see what they have done and take advice from them. Like, okay, how can I have that for myself? And if you think you deserve it, then really, I think you have to be just like fair to yourself and give that to yourself. Like you have to be really your best friend, because no one's really gonna come and do it for you. So you have to be brave enough to do it. And so I think you just have to be really honest with yourself and take advice from the people that have the result that you're looking for, and believe it's possible, because really in this global community of people, preschool teacher, postman, and you're also a teacher, and so many like healthcare workers and all kinds of people that have really like just a normal background have succeeded in this business and made such an amazing lives and circumstances for themselves that they have created. So it's just like, it's really possible. So I think you just need to be your best friend, believe it's possible, take advice from the right people, because if you take advice from the people that don't have the things that you want, don't really expect like, yeah, great, do it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. It's like they're gonna be so like I think all of us have experienced that. If you like, because people often, a lot of people become bitter, tired in their job, the norm, because everyone is so worked out, and society really works you down. And I think it's so important to take the advice from the right kind of people.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah, that's my
And,
answer.
and I really want to ask you, like for you, what has this given you? Like what, like if you describe more in detail, what
You
have you
mean
learned and
like
what have you
the
experienced, during these years? And what are the ups and
well,
downs and the learnings like on the way as well?
well, basically, it has grown me to a more capable human. I went into something to learn a new skill sets, and that was really marketing, sales, and stuff like that. Not necessarily doing sales myself, but just also like high income skills, and that has built me to a more capable person, being able to be more self-sufficient, independent, like creating a business of my own. So I have grown into a person that I really looked up to 5 years ago. So I have really grown into the like wow, that kind of image I have of those people. Like I'm embodying that person today because I obviously have gone through a lot of adversity to learning new things, and just like try, like you make mistakes and all that, but you make mistakes in the right direction. That's the thing. So the things that you learn by making mistakes is gonna empower you even more. So that's the thing. So I've become a more embodied person of the one I really want to be. So I'm able to create results in any kind of business that I want to do. Um, I mean, we have been able to empower ourselves so we can travel really and work from anywhere in the world. Just that, giving us to place ourselves in the context and circumstances and environment that makes us flourish. And for us, it's in the Mediterranean, where we have big mountains, beautiful mountains, hot springs, beautiful rivers, lush nature. That's amazing for us. And sometimes like travel to Bali for an amazing mastermind with also like really empowered entrepreneurs. And I mean, have a family and not having like this, having a family where she's just a month and like 2 weeks old, and I don't have to go away from work and leave my family.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's there's no words for that. Just being home constantly for my family and being there and not leaving them. That's what I have given myself. That's what I've given my family. So and the rest is just extra. But we live a life right now that I think is it's really amazing, and we just want to expand from here so we can even do even more things for ourselves, but also that includes others, making a bigger impact, and that's what we're working for today. So yeah.
Mm, mm. Oh,
I think,
beautiful.
yeah, it was actually even before that when we talked about, well, what people's opinions would say or do with you. I just have to contribute to that because I was so judged so many times during this journey. So I can, with like hand on heart, say that I know what you're going through if you are going through it, or if you have. It doesn't even matter if it's an online business. It can be whatever you want to do for yourself, but it's not like a common thing. So people start to talk and they have their assumings about you and things like that. And for me, when I started this, I said before that I didn't talk that much to people, but eventually, of course, I started to talk about like I've joined this, I'm gonna do my online business. And what I did say was that, yeah, I'm gonna move abroad and I'm gonna be financially free. And people were like, yeah, good luck with that, like that kind of style. And they did it for a long time. And if I would have listened to all my colleagues that said like, yeah, well, that's just a scammer, I'm so sorry to say, but have you think about this and this and this and this and this, and then just ramble. And I was like looking at them, and some part of me was actually tuning into it like, yeah, what the have I done? And the other part of me was more like, no, but whatever, you're here, you're living a miserable life, which you tell every one of us on your like break every day, like how horrible everything is, and you're so stressed out, and you don't have time for this, and you don't have money, and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this to belittling her and her life. It's more that I just remember how I thought that, why should I listen to her? Because there was one person who often wanted to comment. And why should I listen to that when I know in my heart that I am in for more and here for more? So I just kept on continue to, what is that, when you withdraw your energy from the people that actually want to come in and judge. So that's my big advice to whoever you are who need to hear this. Just withdraw your energy and don't think that everyone else's truth are your truth just because they are so strong when they say things. Because that's the easy thing. If someone is really, really strong in themselves and they say it with a sharp, like, this is how it is, it's very, very easy to lean into that and feel like, yeah, I'm totally wrong. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I should and should not, because we are so programmed and conditioned to believe our outer world more than we believe our inner world. So that was the thing I did for myself. I actually sat in a little wardrobe where we had all our cleaning stuff. That was like a little wardrobe, and I sat there every break. I started to sit in the lunch cafeteria area, and I just went in there, plugged in frequency music, and started to listen to myself. Like, where is me? Where is me, myself, and I? Where can I hear myself and my own thoughts? And that was when magic started to happen for me. I just felt like I shifted slowly to hear myself more and more. And when I joined, as I said, it took 3 months for me. During these 3 months, I continued to be with myself and in my own head, in my own body, and listen to the people who had walked the path I wanted to walk but hadn't, really stepped into yet. And that kind of frequency shift and vibration shift was the it for me. And when people then after a while started to talk to me like, why are you always sitting in that little wardrobe, and why are you like, is this part of the thing that you've been talking of to go like to be part of the thing you're part of, like that's, they thought that it was that kind of thing. Even if I did it before I went into it, before I started my online business, I sat in that closet. But anyway.
Oh, but I love that, to hear your own voice, because some people don't even, take the time to try to listen to, but what do you really want? Because
yeah, exactly.
And that's so very, very sad. Like, you've got this beautiful life like in front of you, and a lot of people don't even take the time to dare to dream or dare to even listen to, but what am I here? What do I really want? If it's just to, like you said, to have time with your kids, like it was for me, or make more positive impact, or travel, or be with your dogs, or whatever, But just to allow yourself to do that, I think it's really the first step, right? To just listen to yourself first.
And the most powerful part of it is
laughing jump. Like, I have this she loves the song, and she just loves it. So.
Oh,
so you have to sit there and jump a bit.
I love it. This is like, we're doing business like in the middle of life, like with everything.
But this is the beauty of
with
it.
Victor jumping on a ball.
But I just have to say, the powerful part, this is also powerful. This is us like authentically just sharing how we actually just doing business and life, and we have
it's really everyday work.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
Like, just having a call here on my Pilates call.
But one of the most powerful thing that comes with you sticking to your own thoughts and your own choice is that one day you meet these people again and you actually have achieved what you said. I'm not financially free though, but I have my time. And that is more worth to me than any money can ever pay me. Like, it's so valuable to me to have my time. So I'm time free, I'm location free, and I'm on my way. I'm on my way to financial freedom. We are on our way to financial freedom. freedom. And I continue to say that out loud, just to not be ashamed of what I actually want, because I was ashamed of it, because I got so shamed about it when I kept saying it in the start. Like, oh, you only want the money and you only want to gain from everyone else. And that's absolutely the opposite of what we're doing here. We are the global prosperity movement. So it's like, it's a global prosperity movement, saying it twice is to amplify it. But it's so powerful when you actually walk your walk and talk your talk. And when you meet these people, I have people who has followed my journey for 5 years on social media, who comes, like, I have, like, not each and every day, but each and every, like, months, I have people coming into my inbox saying, like, I followed you for this and this many years, and it's so inspiring to see, like, you move abroad. And I remember when you lived in when you moved in with Victor in Majorna in Göteborg, and I remember when you was a preschool teacher, and I just have to say how inspired it is to blah blah and blah. It's not blah blah, but it's very interesting and very, very powerful when people actually can see that you followed your own voice and you dared to actually, yeah, go for it and to create from your heart. So that's yeah, that was what I wanted to say about the judgmental thing. The rest you said, like what we gained from this, like what we have learned. I think you said it so well. Yeah, that the question that was about how much or what we have learned, but I think just learning to trust yourself and to go for your dream, and everything is possible as long as you have the will and yeah, the will and the courage to go for it. Everything is possible for you, and it doesn't have a time frame. I never thought that. I thought in the beginning, like, yeah, I will be like financially free about 5 years. I thought I could think like that, but life doesn't work like that. It doesn't work in time. It works in processes. So as long as you can learn to get married to the process and just be in it, have your goal, but continue, like, go for it. It will eventually happen for you. So I have no doubt that we all in this conversation will be financially free, because that's what we can achieve if we continue to follow our hearts and really, because again, that's all energy, and it's just us tuning into our heart, our soul, our worth, and our love for life. And life will always provide what we believe that we have, what we have. And if we love it, we will have more of it. I mean, if we are gratitude, like show gratitude for it, we will have more of what we are feeling gratification. Oh gosh, what no? Grateful about. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, that's such a beautiful energy. And the more you work like this, it's kind of like, you know, the opposite than you're told, like in the mindset. It's like if you work hard, you get a lot of money. Like we thought as entrepreneurs, we thought we just needed to work harder to get more money. And it's actually the opposite. You know, you have to take care of yourself more when you actually like live the life that you want to live, and you start being the person, even though you don't feel ready for it. This business will just flower and just provide for you. It's like really this, what I love with this is also like leading people on that journey of self-discovery and really letting in the abundance, like letting yourself be abundant, like you said, not just with time, but with like not just with finances, but with time and relationships and where you want to be in the world, and having basically a freedom of choice that I think we're all supposed to have, where we're in the system that doesn't serve us, but a lot of people serve the system even though it's not serving them, you know, which is crazy. Once you look at it, it's just, my God, did I really believe in that? Like looking back, like it's like this kind of sect or something that
It is.
that you
That's
could,
the,
oh my
yeah.
God, I was in that, you know, system sect. I really believed in that. Like, oh my God, how could I?
That's absolutely the biggest scam.
Yeah, you said it so good. Like, that's the biggest scam. Like, working for like 60 years of your life,
65
whatever, like to 65 plus, and then like now
Yeah.
it's they taking it even higher. But like, and then like then you are supposed to enjoy your freedom. But most people don't live
Exactly.
like so
Yeah.
long after that anyway. So it's like it's
Yeah.
not so much to enjoy because you have sacrificed your health.
Yeah.
So you're not maybe able to enjoy like you can move or stuff like that in a certain way and enjoy your freedom.
And you absolutely do not have finances for it. Like,
Exactly.
And you don't know what's going to happen in life. Like I actually had a colleague working as a teacher where he was he's worked all his life for a low salary, and he was a great like teacher. It wasn't that like he did an amazing job, but just when he got his pension, when he was like, oh, now I'm finally going to be with my grandkids, I'm going to have free time, he had a heart attack and he died, you know.
oh, yeah.
So it's like you never know what's going to happen next week or who's going to be there or what's going to happen. And it's kind of like when you get these kind of wake up calls in your life, you need to listen. You're like, and I think that was a part of my wake up call as well. It's like, am I going to do this work with no long-term plan, with no like time for my kids, and then what, you know?
Yeah. I love the saying, you know, Monica, when they say that when people say, I can't afford this online business, or I can't afford to invest in this and this. And the question that they don't ask themselves because they're not used to ask it. So that's one of my favorite questions, but is that, can you afford to continue as you do though?
Yeah.
Sacrifice your time, sacrifice your health, sacrifice your energy, sacrifice your economy, like your future, your even your legacy to your children and grandchildren. Can you afford to walk the path that you're already doing for all these years that you are planning to do it, as the system say, 65 plus? That's a very powerful question to ask yourself, because you, as you said, you never know what's gonna happen to you. And the thing is, we value wrong things. We have learned to value wrong things, like the job and the work. I have some colleagues that they are married to their job. They don't have any time on the side to do anything else because they live for the work. That's the only thing they talk about, the only thing they breathe and eat and poo. No, but it's I had I think it's 2 years ago. I had to go home to walk on a funeral with one of my dearest friend Jenny, which I used to work with. She was a fantastic preschool teacher, and she passed away when she was 49. As talking about we never know what's gonna happen. She had cancer and she died, and I got home to go on the funeral. And when we had that little gathering just a week, I think it was before, when a lot of us showed up from being her colleague, I sat in that environment again, and I hadn't done it for so many years, 3 years, like I hadn't sat with my colleague. And we only talked about, not about Jenny. We talked about the job, like the job and the job and the job and the preschool teacher job and the job and the job, and how we do this and how we do that and how we do that. And I had like kind of enough. So I was a bit maybe rude in people's eyes, but I just like, can we stop talking about the job? Can we talk about why we have gathered? Because we gathered to talk about Jenny and who she was. And yeah, but she was our colleague, someone said. And I said, yes, but she was much more to me than just someone that I worked with. She was a human being, and she had dreams, she had visions. Did you know that she wanted to travel to Italy, to the Sardinian? That was one of her goals, but she never got to do that. Did you know that? Did you know that she wanted this and this? And like I tried to make people talk real conversations. In my word, that's real conversation. But they were so consumed by the only thing they like related to, not her, that's not fair to say, but how they talked, how they behaved. It was around the work. And that made me so sad, because all the people that sat there, they are beautiful people, they're amazing people, but they were so stuck in the framework that the work have given them and the society have given them. And that was one of the first things that I thought, like, if I would have sit on this couch and if I would back in time and not saying yes to this business, I would be one of them. I would be unhealthy because they were bragging about who had the most, like the worst economy and the worst health. That was also like how they spoke. and how they operated in the conversation. And that's very like kind of normal. We talk about our pain and what is bad, and oh, I don't have this and this, and it's very much of a struggle conversation many times. And there was an eye opener, and it's not to say that it's bad or that they are bad or anything. It's more that I was so aware now that that was my past life, and I would never ever choose that for myself again.
But
And
isn't it kind of the suffering hero kind of syndrome? Like you're
yeah, I think so.
something good with suffering? It's like, no, it's nothing good with suffering. You don't need to suffer. Like when you can look back on it, of course it's easier once you've like taken the steps. But and it's not like looking down on anyone or like discrediting, but it's just that once you are in a way see what is possible in your mind, and you also you kind of take the steps and you actually see it working, like, oh my God, I can trust this new path actually works. I can look at all these people doing it. Then it's kind of in a way you can't buy into that any longer, right? Isn't that the case? Like you can't buy into that it was a good thing, her not living her dreams, like, and being completely occupied in the suffering, you know? Yeah. And I think in the end, doesn't it like boil down to what is really freedom? Like, can you dare to first think about freedom and then like take the steps towards freedom that then leads to what I call sovereignty or independence, or like taking charge, responsibility for your own life, you know? For me, and I don't know what you say about this. I mean, this is a sovereign free life podcast. Like, what does that mean to you? Like to have freedom, to have sovereignty in this context? What would you say?
I think it feels like I'm still experiencing new levels of what it means. And it's like to unravel all those like the deepest dimensions. For example, I just became a father and now being home with my family. Just that's like oh wow, like fathers go back to work after like after 10 days normally, or some people stay like choose to do it differently, but the majority do it like that. And for me, just being home constantly, waking up with my family and being that's just like now it's like mind blowing not doing that. So it's like for me, it's just like wow. So it feels like it's still a deconstructing process of
well put. Really
of I think we're being so conditioned of how life should be, and when you have like it's so hard to imagine when having a work what it would mean to have the freedom, like because you don't know what you would do, for some at least, and when you have it you're like, oh my God, like is this how it is? And you're like, this is how it should be, this is healthy, this is normal, this is logical, this is rational. Everything else that's madness. Being in the rat race is madness. So like for me it's like becoming sober again and looking at life like wow. So for me it's like being able to inspire people how that's possible and the tools they can use to empower themselves. That for me is just like to support just humanity and my brothers and sisters on this planet to just like to live a normal, and when I say normal, I don't like normal because normal is madness basically for me. But what real like rationality and normal is, that is really being just like having enough to being able to buy healthy food, being with your family, doing what you really want to do, spend time how you want to spend time, and being in the environment that you want to be. So
so true.
You want to answer that?
Well, you said it very well. So I'm thinking of sovereignty, and I think as a mother to be, when I realized that I was pregnant, I I also realized that I had created the environment for me to actually honor my whole pregnancy time and the after time, the postpartum time. And yeah, as I agree with everything. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
As I agree with everything that Victor said, I can say from that perspective of having my time and to know that I can always withdraw myself, lay down in bed, can sleep as long as I want in the morning. I don't have to rush up or rush myself into things. I honestly think that's the greatest gift I gave myself and my baby, to have a calm nervous system, to eat good food, to nourish myself, and to every day walk around. We lived on a different spot here, and we had a lot of grass that we could walk on in nature. We can it as up here as well, but on that little gate that we have, like a little cottage, it was really just like a paradise when we walked out from our door. And I did it every day. I just woke up whenever the whole pregnancy, 9 months of like just open my eyes whenever I was ready to open them in the morning and go out, have my water or my coffee or my tea or whatever I had. I always had a cup with me, and I walked like 50 meters down to the river, and I sat there with my feet in the river and just balmed myself into all this beauty of life. And sometimes I got super inspired and I had a lot of energy. Like the first trimester was really, everyone says it's going to be hard. For me, it was easy. I was so energized. Even if I was tired, I was energized. My soul was pumped. I was pregnant. Wow, I was creating a life. And I like did all the things I needed for myself. That is sovereignty for me, to be free, to own myself, like my whole self. Not only the time, of course, the time is like that's the only thing that I think is the most important like piece that we need to take back. We need to have our time to create life in our own term. But yeah, anyway, to be able to go inwards and to be inwards so much that you get to know yourself, and you hear yourself so loud and so clear that you actually know what you want to do with your life when you become a mother. Many people doesn't even have the time to like think of how they want to live their life after they have become a mother, because they are working. I can't even imagine how it is to work, produce a child in your belly and then go to work.
I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's freaking insane. I thought about it so much during this, as bigger as I became, and as longer as went into that pregnancy. I thought it's the most crazy thing to make a woman work during this so important and potent time when they are producing a new child. Like they are a channel, like a clear, like, oh yeah, I can't even, yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. But for me, sovereignty, to own myself, my time, my body, everything, like everything, everybody that we have, to own that and to do whatever I want and what I need. That was super important for me. And to have the postpartum together with my spouse, and also to know that we are every day waking up, deciding what, when, how. That is empowerment for me, and that is also sovereignty, pure sovereignty for me. Because no one else will never be able to decide what you will do with your life energy, with your pronoun. No one should never. That's a crime, for God's sake. So that's sovereignty for me. And freedom is kind of the same, I think. Like freedom is for me to own my time and my energy, and to fill that with whatever I want to do, whatever we want. And then when you reach that state, which I think I did for a couple of years, maybe even less, I can't remember when the time was, but when you reach a point where you feel that your cup is so full, I think it was 2022, that your cup is so full, so the only thing you actually want to do is to give like give everywhere. You have so many advice, you have so many things that you want to like, oh, have you thought about this? And you have so much energy, so it's just pouring out as it does like now when we're talking. I feel so energized because I've spent the most of this day just mapping out my other, like my side business, which is my spiritual baby, like that's Bare Mama Medicine that I built up on the side when I did all of this in the online business. I have another online business because that's what you can do. You can start to create from your soul and from your passion. That's freedom. It's not freedom for me. It's not when you wake up and you're so stressed out because you need to be on a work and clock in, and then you have to eat on a specific time with the children that you work with, to then go and have a break on 30 minutes, and you can't have more than 30 minutes. That's the window you have for your whole day, and then you have to run into to your work again, work your ass off, and if you have a colleague that is sick or something, then you need to be even there, because you can't leave a preschool. You can't just leave and say, yeah, my work hours is done, bye bye, because you have a responsibility over other souls, other human beings. So that is not freedom for me, and I will never ever sign under that again. So, yeah.
Oh, beautifully said. And I'm so touched, you know, to hear both of you, and also so touched that you've actually achieved so many of your dreams. I mean, you have traveled, you moved to southern France. Now you're having this beautiful time with your family. And it just touches my heart so, so much. Like you said, when your cup is full, then to hear those kind of stories, to hear from you, to hear from others, actually succeeding to just change their lives, change how you're actually spending your days and your time. Oh, it's so,
And
so
you know
touching.
what, Monica? It would never been possible if you wouldn't have said yes. So that's made me tough. If you wouldn't have said, yes, I want to do this online business, we wouldn't have been here because you said yes. And that rippled out to me, to Victor, to everyone who has heard
Oh,
your
thank
voice.
you for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but it's so
Like,
important to acknowledge that. And if your friend Chanel wouldn't have said yes to this, you wouldn't sit,
yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
So
this
it's,
ripple effect that just happens.
yeah.
And I think just like you said, I also was just when I saw this, like a light just entered my heart. And I didn't really understand it. It was just like, that's it. That's what
Yeah.
we've been waiting for, because both me and Christopher were like, no, we can't do this anymore. Like we agreed on that. Like we can't just burn out. Like this road just leads to burnout. You could feel it. And and if I hadn't followed that light, it's like, and you hadn't, and so many others hadn't, like we wouldn't sit here, right? But I think when you come to, because I was sitting also the other day, I mean, we have actually, like, we have our dream car, we have our dream farm, we're like planning to build our house. We're like so abundant and, you know, been together with our kids. And then you're like, but then what? Like, what is the next step? What is the bigger vision? Where, at least for me, it's more like giving back to as many people, like making such a positive impact as possible. But I would love to hear, like, where do you see your life expanding from here? I know one thing is like complete financial, like abundance, and you're like on that road, but would love to hear your greater vision, like moving forward.
Oh Lord, we talk about it every day now. We do like talk about what we want and what we want to create. And yeah, you can start.
I mean, just like I've been thinking, well, would I share this? Because it's still like something I like to. Some dreams it's good to keep for yourselves, while it's still like in the seed thing. But I'm happy to share it. It's actually lately it has come up to actually for a long time. It's been more like, oh, I want to build some kind of center for like more.
That goes for both of us.
Yeah, for more like for people to come and just like be able to experience what it really means to be normal, like being a really normal environment. But that has actually evolved to a school.
Oh, wow.
So a
Amazing.
school down here in southern France that would be more of a global school.
Like a word school.
Yeah, because the last years I've been having been able to come in contact with a lot of people and also find my genius, which is really to connect with people. And that's a real skill. And also to with a lot of kinds of different skills that I have, which is showing me the direction, like that's actually what I wanted to create. Because now when becoming a dad and a father, and will obviously would grow the family even more, but still like being able to give our kids something that's special. And so that has really come up as a thing, and that would be a passion project. That's a passion project. So that's something that I would do, that I will do because I want to do it. And that's going to be the most amazing experience. It's going to be the most amazing school down here. So yeah, that's one of the dreams so far. And then obviously it's some little things here and there as well. But yeah, that's...
We also have like closer in time, like to buy land and build house down here, so that we can have one base here. But we also have like, why just here? We want one in Sweden as well. So that's also like on the vision board, to have two homes that we can alternate between. My vision has been since a long time, even before I started my online business. But then I didn't know really what it was, what I saw in my mind. But I always, not always, but for a long time, since I started to study as a preschool teacher, I think, I envisioned myself having a dome. It's a big dome on a beautiful land, and it's gonna be like a family center, and it's going to be with old people as well in the future. That's like the next vision after that. But I really want to merge like the younglings with the elder ones, and really like merge that kind of bond that they actually have, because both of them are very close to source in different ways. And some of them, like the one has come down like, and are new on earth. The other one has lived a long life and have a lot of lessons and learnings from earth, the school earth, and are now going back again. So they will feel so much, I feel that there will be so much comfort in both of them, and to be in between, like all of us who is in between that, we can also learn and see. And yeah, that's like a learning thing, like a school as well in a way. But yeah, anyway, that's one of the visions I have had for a long time. And the other one is to have like this family center, which I want to have like this big dome, and I want to invite people to come from all over the world to teach us like different kinds of teachings. But the primary will be like how to actually connect with yourself, and as a family, how do you speak to each other? How do you respect each other? The equalness between each other. But just because they are children doesn't mean that they are less worth than the adults, or even that they know less than adults. They actually know more many times than adults, because we are so programmed and so conditioned. And so that's something that I really want to have, like a family center for people, families, and also a women's center. I want us to heal the sister wounds that we have, and that has been going on for 1,000 of years, when we were haunting as witches, and we were, our voice was teared down. We couldn't speak loud, and many of us are afraid to speak our truths, because that's not even from this lifetime, it's from other lifetimes. So I really want to amplify what I understand for is the power of voice and wisdom from women. And I really want to, I want to be able to give them tools, women, give them tools to step into their own power, voice, and wisdom, because the woman is the one who actually is giving birth to the child. And if we have happy women and also families, we will have happy future, like a happy future, because they are, like, as we always said, the kids are the future. But who is it that actually is giving them like the wisdom and the knowledge, like about how the future can be? That's us. So we always say it's the kids, that's the future. But no, we are the future. We are just ahead of them. We have been kids, so we have been the future the whole time, right? So all of us are the future. It's just how we view it. So yeah, that's our as well. But I think they're merging very well together, these visions. So
beautiful.
that's good for us.
I know you will make it happen. I see it happen. It's it's done.
Yeah, I feel that it's done.
So,
step
so
at a time.
amazing to listen to you both, and like in the middle of life and babies and visions. Amazing. You always just touch my heart so so much, and I think it's time to round up. But are there any last words that you like to say to people out there before we round up?
Always, it's just like honor your heart and soul, honor your like the nudges of your soul, as one of my mentors says. I love that. So listen to the nudges of your soul, like what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Like just honor that, because it's such an epic life when you do that.
Yeah.
And it's always gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be a better payoff than not.
Yeah.
So that's me, like always honor your heart and soul.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to add, everything you said, yes, 100%. I want to add also to really know that your life is yours to live. There is no one else that's going to live your life. But if you let someone else live through you by their voice and their opinions, their rules or whatever, then you're going to end up living someone else's life, feeling it your own life. So I really want to empower you with your own spirit, as you said, your own soul's calling and heart's desire and longing, to really honor that, and also know your life is yours to live. So go out and live your life based on your values and what you want to do in your life. Yes. What you want to.
Thank you, guys. That is so, so true. And you're like such a living embodiment of that. You're showing it by example in every step. And I've seen your journey, and I mean, the amount that you both have grown, like in these years, it's like this racetrack, like just seeing you flower and evolve and take the steps and live your life in this beautiful way. It's just so, so touching. So huge thank you for being with me, and
Thank you for having me.
continue the good work. I love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You.